Dan Andrizzi with Remax, another expert that we are so excited to have on. I mean, did you hear his booming voice? My goodness. I have to take notice. When he speaks, I'm listening because it's not just great information, but he demands attention, and it's great because you have some great information, Dan, and we want to make sure we continue to touch on that. And just so our listeners get to kind of know a little bit more about Dan Andrizzi and why you got into real estate, because I know you're passionate about it, and I know you started from basically a personal trainer, basically, and you've
Sure.
taken now that discipline and decided to transfer that into the real estate market.
Sure, yeah. I spent approximately 10-plus years in the fitness industry, training countless, business owners, professionals, real estate agents, which are neither of the former. Back when we could afford it. And I just have a huge passion for fitness. I still do, and I trained these real estate agents who I just thought, wow, I'd like to give that a shot. I've always been curious about real estate. I'm a huge believer in it. It's a great freedom and right we have here in America, and let's face it, we're not making any more land, right? So it's always going to be in demand. So just told myself I'd get my license and see if I like it, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I can tell you have a definite passion for it, because when I sent you out the questions and stuff to the interviewing process to see, to make sure we add value to the show, you went all out, buddy. I mean, you stayed up till you had to stay up till 1 in the morning typing this stuff out because he's passionate about it. And I know if you barked at me to do something, I would do it. And come on, I know why you got in the real estate agent. If you were training real estate agents, I guarantee you looked at a lot of them and went, oh my gosh, if they're this lazy, I can get into this business.
And be just fine.
Because that's why we're very particular about who we bring on this show. And the ones we bring on the show are the best of the best, and they work their butts off. I can guarantee it. Gino can guarantee it. And I know you're just like that. And that's why you're thriving and helping people, I guess, not just take advantage, but handle the business and understand the business. Because it's more confusing than ever, is it not?
Oh, it absolutely is, and I do have to give some credit to my lovely wife, Queen Kathleen, for answering these. Yeah, she makes me call her that, otherwise I don't get dinner. But she answered all the questions for me, so I'm just sort of reading off a script here. That's okay.
I doubt that, sir.
But no, it is. It's a very difficult market. It's challenging. It's fun. It's stimulating. I think Dan Hunt would attest to that as well.
Absolutely.
And the fun thing about real estate, it is very much, if you come from an athletic background, I think a lot of us here do, it's exciting because you have to stay on top of your game. You might have been great 6 months ago, but if you're not on top of your statistics, the numbers, what the market's doing today, you don't have a hope in terms of what it might do tomorrow, and trying to anticipate that for your clients.
And we're always in training season here.
At least I'm starting it. Not there yet, but. Dan, quick question. Getting back to what Don said about this being a seller's market.
Sure.
What do you kind of feel is going to happen in the future? Are we going to see appreciation going the way it was in 03, 04, 05? Are we going to be a little bit more tempered, slower paced? Is it going to be the craziness it was back then, or is it going to be a little bit different going forward? What's your opinion about the subject?
No, it's an important question. I would definitely like to expand on that answer because while I do see us being in a seller's market right now, the statistics are showing that. I think it also is important to say what I don't think is going to happen. And we might not always be able to predict what's going to happen, but I think we can all agree on what's not going to happen. And that is this double-digit appreciation or, in my opinion, depreciation that we've seen these past 10-plus years. Yeah. I see the market going over the next couple of years. It's interesting because every seminar I've been to the last few months has discussed that we're in a transitional market. And we are. We absolutely are in a transitional market, but the truth of the matter is we're always in a transitional market.
I love that.
This is real estate. It's cyclical, right? So it's always transitioning to some degree. The real question in my mind is what are we transitioning into?
Good point.
And I don't mind sticking my neck out and giving a little speculation on that. So I'd like to direct everyone to my website because for $9.95 I have an answer, along with who shot JFK. And where Hoffa's buried.
Okay, give us those websites so I can sign up for that because I lost my magic 8 ball.
Exactly. No, but in all seriousness, I see the market remaining somewhat flat over the next couple of years. I think we'll see some spiking in pricing in terms of once demand's supply slows down and demand forces those prices up, people are going to remember what happened these past few years, are going to pull back and not want to repeat those mistakes, and prices are going to settle due to a settling in demand. And I think we'll see that sort of bumping along the bottom the next couple of years. But the important thing is that I believe we're there, if not very close to there, in the Santa Clarita Valley. And throw my opinion out the window, the numbers support that. We have 44% fewer listings than this time last year. 44%.
That's a
almost
big
half.
number. Yeah, wow.
Huge.
Right. Our average time on the market is 40% less than it was last year, from 133 days down to 79 days. Our average list price has increased by 11.5%.
Wow, that's
So-
a good number.
I love people that know their numbers. That's awesome. As a numbers guy,
right.
I love people that know their numbers.
Sure, and you look at all those numbers, and you just got to say, wow, we are the stars are aligning for a good recovery here.
Yeah, so obviously it sounds like we're directionally correct, right? So what
Absolutely.
you're hearing on the Don Gino Real Estate Finance Show is that we're directionally correct. We're seeing
Sure.
improvement. And what I wanted to point out is, although prices may be stable over the next couple of years, just like you said, I'm willing to predict what's not going to happen. Interest rates are not going to continue to decline. They're very near the floor.
Sure.
And affordability
Agreed.
is actually going to go down because interest rates are going to go up. So even if prices stay the same, if interest rates go up, the cost of buying a home is going to rise.
Sure, absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. I don't see interest rates going any lower. They've been, as you guys, you're the pros here, they've been low where they've been for what, close to a year now, months at least,
Yeah,
6
Oh,
months.
and these are the ridiculous rates. It's almost like Gino likes to say, it's free money. With what you get to write off and your tax advantages owning a home and so forth, it's basically free money.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's
with-
also inflation over time, right?
Right.
So with what you get to write off and inflation over time, I guarantee you that inflation will outpace what today's interest rates are in a 30-year span, for sure. Especially because we're trying to create inflation right now. You know, that's one of the government's goals, to create a little bit of inflation. So with what we're trying to do, and QE3, as you mentioned earlier, Don, I guarantee you it's going to be free money.
That's
Yeah.
right.
The printing presses have not
And I
stopped.
love getting those numbers. And just so you know, if you just tune in, we're on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. We're here with Dan Hunt from Cherry Creek, a mortgage planner extraordinaire, and also Dan Andrizzi with Remax. And if you need to get a hold of Dan to get some of these numbers, because this guy knows his stuff. You could tell he knows his numbers. He studies. He trains. He knows his stuff. And that's who you need to align with. Do not align with the person that does it part-time. Part-time does not work. I'm telling you right now, I will go and stand on my soapbox all day long to let you know part-time does not work. I run a branch, and I know how hard my guys work at Cherry Creek. I know how hard Dan works. He just knows nothing else but working hard. So reach out to Dan. He's got two ways of reaching him. Daniel sells SCV. That's danielsellsscv.com. Pretty easy. So you do sell SCV?
I do sell SCV.
Ah, I thought so. Okay, he does more, though.
It's very
You can
astute of
find ValenciaHomes.com. Find ValenciaHomes.com. And that's how you get a hold of Dan Andrizzi with Remax to speak with a real pro and a nice guy. This guy is a good dude. I mean, that's who we have on the show. People that are approachable, nice, fun. And that way you can get his CD on and find out who shot JFK and where Jimmy Hoffa's buried.
It's like the map to the stars.
Yeah, and why my first girlfriend dumped me. It's all on the CD. No, it's great going over this stuff with you, Dan, because being here in Santa Clarita, it is a unique valley. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
different. It's not the same as, like you said, it's not the same as San Fernando Valley, correct?
It's not, and you know, more specifically, we look at parts of Santa Clarita, and Canyon Country is very different from Stevenson Ranch, is very different from Castaic. So it is really important if you have some real estate needs, you're thinking about getting into the market, you're thinking about moving up, moving down, maybe your mortgage is too much to handle, and you've heard about the $33,000 that banks are now paying people to short sale, and you're considering that. It's important, I believe, I think we all believe, to work with a local professional, someone who knows Santa Clarita. We're an incorporated city. Yes, we're part of LA County, but there's a lot of things unique about our valley that it really helps to have someone who's familiar with the valley, on top of their game, paying attention to the numbers and what the market's doing to sort of guide you along your quest here. And there is no better time than now.
Yeah, I
You know,
think
it
that's
really
a-
is the time.
That's a really great point. You know, don't hire your uncle that works in Northern California to sell your house here in Santa Clarita. I can assure you that working with Dan, you will get more than the savings you'd have by working with a family member that doesn't live in town.
Well, and it's not going to cost you more. It really isn't. You think you're saving, but it's not. Misinformation always costs you. We've all done it. I don't care. You have done it out there. I know you're listening, and you have made a mistake trying to save a buck, and how much did that cost you? So make sure you stay tuned, because make sure you're not going to pay more than you should, or not by not knowing the information that you need to know. So we're going to touch base with Dan a little bit more on what's happening here in Santa Clarita, his thoughts on where we're going and how you could take advantage of it. And also, he's going to share with us some fun stories about what happened to him out in the field in the real estate market out there. This is fun stuff. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.